Hello, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. So, of course, my game being my game, it decided that it was going to mess up all of the audio on my initial recording for the beginning of the trial. And so I did post a sort of shorter video last time, just so there would be some of the preamble leading up to this, but this is going to be my second recording run through of the first part of the trial, and then I'm going to continue on from my other save file after this. So yeah, let's get into it.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Such a cruel rule!
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Most definitely! There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you! Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry. I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
You hate me that much?
Now, let's begin!
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
Were you even listening to the rules?
Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
The most pressing issue on our minds?
Don't do it, Totoro. Don't do it.
Where we found the body.
Okay.
It's very strange to find a body
I
underneath
thought I
the
was going to
table.
say something pervy. Sorry, spoke over the voice acting. I'll be quiet now.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the dining hall table. We can start with that, but ultimately, we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that... No, thinking about if is a waste of time. We have to do this no matter what. So the class trial has finally started. From this point on, I'll provide simple tutorials at every important moment. I'm sorry, but please excuse my ear-tainting rudeness. As things progress during the class trial, you'll engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, all of your classmates will speak after one another without any breaks. It's up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained within their statements. This means you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Out of all the truth bullets you find during your investigation, only the relevant ones will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to move the reticle and fire with that is the Y button. I don't know why it comes up like that. Pay close attention to each character's statement and choose your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you'll automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the start button, you can look at the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
No, that's wrong!
No, that's wrong!
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
Aw, and here I thought I had a genius idea.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
Burn.
I respond better to praise, you know.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean he'd dive under the table.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
The reason Byakuya dove under the table. If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably the knife, because he was confiscating things from people.
I can prove it with this! It probably has something to do with the knife we found under the table.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, "I am the murder weapon"?
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there, so in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I cannot deny that possibility. But how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment. Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial!
During the previous statement, there was only one weak spot, but from this point on, there'll be various weak spots standing in your way. No matter how many weak spots there will only be one lie or contradiction in the debate at a time. This means there will be a false weak spot. If you shoot a false weak spot with a truth bullet, not only will you fail to refute what was said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone and your influence gauge will take damage. If your influence gauge reaches 0, you will fail, so please be extra careful. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or mistakes. Also, if you concentrate by holding down the RB button, you can progress the argument slowly. Please use it whenever you feel like the statements are moving too fast for you to aim. However, this does consume the focus gauge, so please be careful. If you press the start button, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct.
If that's the case, during the blackout, Mr. Ham Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food. Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
No, that's wrong! No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
No.
Why do you say that?
If he was using those night vision goggles we found under the table, he could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus. No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
The other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Were you surprised by Mahiru's sudden argument? Just between you and me, I was also surprised. Just kidding, I'm sorry. Now then, when this kind of argument surfaces, you will go into a one-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots and argue against them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the left stick. Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways or diagonally. And based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it will skew towards their advantage. In the bottom right hand corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed. This is the number of times you can cut remarks during the one round of the debate. You will lose counts of sharpness even if you miss, so please be very careful. When the mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's argument changes. This means a conversation will develop. If that happens, they will end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it will skew the mood towards the other party's advantage, plus it's going to be very big. Just like a regular debate, please refute any weak spots with the Y button. Of course, if you don't have the correct truth blade, you'll not be able to cut an opponent's remark. Huh? What's a truth blade? I'm terribly sorry, it appears there's been a delay in contacting you. I will make sure the person in charge of contacting you takes a very long vacation. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. There won't be any changes to your handbook menu. Only the name was changed, but don't you think a change of feeling is important? If you press the start button, you can look at the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay.
If you just use common sense, the killer obviously used those night vision. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they used night, then they could have killed Byakuya even in reality. So those goggles were planned and the killer brought them to the crime scene.
Boo. That's what I did last time as well.
Because if they used night, then they could have killed Byakuya even in reality. So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Allow me to cut through those words! No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Okay, and that brings us to the point that I got to in the last run through. So thank you so much for watching. The episode after this will be a little bit longer because it's actually a recording of the initial playthrough. You'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.